the Indian pilots will finally get to fly the Russian prototype of the fifth-generation fighter aircraft FGFA once the contract between New Delhi and Moscow on the joint development of futuristic combat jet is finalized. Access to the Russian next-generation jet was one of the key sticking points between the two countries, leading to the enormous delay in the project taking off. Cost escalation and questions on serious technical deficiencies in the offer on plate were other breaking points. The issue was resolved after intervention at the highest political level after officials failed to break the deadlock that had threatened to derail the much-anticipated project that would have addressed Indian Air Force's requirement for a futuristic fighter jet. It is an important breakthrough as New Delhi had been trying to have a closer look at the Russian prototype T-50 of PAC-FA on which the Indian version, called the Prospective Multi-Role Fighter PMF, is based. Despite India paying $295 million for the preliminary design, Russia was not keen to share technical details of the prototype. 6 prototypes of PAC-FA are currently flying. The project, which started in 2007, has now been resurrected. The projected cost agreed in 2011 was $10.5 billion. NDIA had found several problems in the preliminary design as it was worried about the maintenance, the engines, stealth features and the weapon carriage system. Sources said that once the research and development contract is finalized, for which negotiations were underway, the Indian pilots will get to fly the prototype. The aircraft forms part of the IAF's future fighter matrix. Under the initial plan, it was proposed that 94 months will be taken after the signing of the agreement to complete the development program. With the plan already running significantly behind schedule, the inductions will have to wait until the contract is finally sealed. As reported by Mail Today, Russia had held a demonstration flight of the aircraft for the Indian experts which ended in disaster as the plane caught fire. The incident had added fuel to the Indian concerns about the platform. The political push now has provided fresh thrust to the program. India had initially sought around 40 trainer versions of the aircraft, but the plan was shelved as the Russians had earlier refused India access to the aircraft. Developed single-pilot combat jet. Additional advantages: the use of radio frequency photonic technology enables a significant reduction of aircraft visibility within the infrared spectrum, and of fuel consumption. This is possible because of the high efficiency of the future radar system, which will produce several times less heat. The developers will not have to include an additional powerful cooling system, which would significantly increase the mass of the product, and require electricity generated by the aircraft's engines at the cost of burning fuel. It will not be possible to block ROFAR through high-power jamming. For jammers, the range of the electronic warfare system must be greater than that of the radio receiver, which is physically impossible with photonics-based radar. If the ROFAR project is successfully completed, the technology will not only be used for airborne radar systems. According to MIC-AF, equipping Russian naval ships with ROFAR would make it possible to reduce the weight of onboard antenna systems by around 80 to 85%. A fly in the ointment. The announcements from the Russian manufacturers sound optimistic, but economic realities, shortcomings in organization and management, and difficulties with training and recruiting personnel may hinder implementation of these ideas. Russia still has problems mass-producing airborne active electronically scanned array AESA radar systems like those the U.S. has, not only on its fifth-generation F-22 and F-35 fighter aircraft, but also on its latest fourth-generation F-16 and F-15 fighters. The only Russian AESA radar system, Zuk-A, designed for the MiG-35, was first unveiled in 2009 but was still at the testing stage at the end. The Russian government has allocated 680 million rubles, less than $10 million, to the entire FGFA program. In comparison, the U.S. Department of Defense allocated $110 million in Photonics and plans to raise at least as much from private investors. Not only Russia and the USA are involved in this technology race. Scientists from Italy unveiled the working model of a photonics-based radar system in March. And Jean Loic, Executive Vice President at France's Sales Group, said the company is stepping up work in this area. With such global competition, the announcements from Russia's craft that working technology is to be built in the near future sound almost like a challenge, and represent the further test of the mettle of Russia's defense industry.